I think people should absolutely see as many plays as you can. It's such an amazing opportunity to just have Hollywood just inundated with new and exciting theater at this time. And like, I don't know about other people, but I have been starved for live theater. I've been waiting for it to come back. So I'm going to be out at as many places as I can. And I think everyone else should be too, because we haven't had a chance to do this in such a long time. And it's so exciting. It's such an exciting time to be excited about theater. So take advantage of it. Hi, I'm Zack Rocklin-Waltch. If you want to learn more about Confessions of a Former Boy Detective at Hollywood Fringe 2021, watch this video. So the idea for the play Confessions of a Former Boy Detective was something that's been sitting in me for a very long time, I think. My grandma, as I said, is a mystery novelist, so I grew up sort of steeped in mystery novels. I would get gory details of plot lines from my grandma when I was like 4, and I think that sort of instilled a love of mystery. My grandfather loves Sherlock Holmes, and would sort of recite old Sherlock Holmes stories to me when I was younger, and I was really into those kid detective stories when I was little. I loved Nancy Drew, Hardy Boys, Encyclopedia Brown, A to Z mysteries. I couldn't get enough of those sorts of books. So it's always been fun to play around with the idea of child mysteries. I've sort of hinted at it in other things I've written, but I've never written a piece that really dives into the idea. And then I also love genre fiction. I think that genre fiction really allows the writer to explore very niche ideas, whether it's fantasy or sci-fi or mystery. There are tropes in those genres, and if you sort of use those tropes and manipulate those tropes to sort of explore what makes those genres beloved, I think you can get at some really interesting ideas. So I guess sort of a metatextual approach to genre fiction has always fascinated me. And so this idea of a guy who used to be a real life Nancy Drew or Encyclopedia Brown kind of kid, who is now no longer a detective and no longer does detective work, and how do you grow up from that? Like, what is the process from child detective wonderkind to adult person? And how does that idea of childhood sort of play into your life? And how do you get from point A to point B? And all of those ideas really interested me. And once I got that idea, I think when I was in the shower, it just like latched on, and I just started writing ideas for stories that this guy could tell, and things that could have happened to him, and what sort of traumas he would be dealing with, and what kind of sense of humor he would have developed, and all those ideas. And so I brought that in with a few other ideas to Wendy, and that was the one that we were both really excited about. And so it just became a really fun process of expanding this world and this guy's life, and telling that story. So Confessions of a Former Boy Detective is about Daniel Davidowicz, who is a 20-year-old college student who is sort of at a directionless place in his life. But he used to be a child detective along with his twin sister. They were the Davidowicz detectives when they were in middle school, and they solved mysteries. They were sort of locally famous, and Daniel is no longer a detective, and he's trying to make sense of his life up to where he is now, how he sort of ended up at this driftless place, unsure, directionless. He's reflecting on the events that led up to this disastrous final case that ended his career as a detective along with his sister. And he's reflecting on the events leading up to a fallout between him and his sister that sort of carries on to the moment of the play, reflecting on this sort of fractured relationship he has with his twin sister, and sort of trying to make sense of how he got where he is now. I think I want the audience to leave with a sense of an understanding of agency, especially in regards to the stories we tell ourselves about ourselves. I think that we put a lot of labels on ourselves throughout our lives that sort of lock us into thinking we are a certain way. And we can rely on others to sort of push us in the ways that we tell ourselves that we can't. You say, oh, I'm not really a people person, you know, I have friends who sort of bring me out of my shell, or, you know, things like that, where we tell ourselves that we're a certain way, and that limits us. And how do we understand ourselves beyond those labels? How do we push ourselves beyond what we tell ourselves we can do? And how do we make room to unlearn those boxes that we've put ourselves in? I think that's the main takeaway that I'd like to get at with this play. That we have agency in our lives beyond what we tell ourselves we do, and that you're not just the person you always have thought you are, but you are everyone you've ever met, and that imbues you with the abilities of everyone you've ever met, and you internalize those, and you can push yourself beyond this limited idea of you that you think you are. I would love people to come see Confessions of a Former Boy Detective. I think it's a funny piece. You're gonna get to, you know, laugh and talk with me, and it's a profound piece. It talks about issues of mental illness, addiction, loneliness, isolation, and confronts them in ways that are really meaningful to me. And because they mean so much to me, I can only assume that they will mean something to someone else, someone out there. And I think it's a really fun and exciting way to get at these ideas. You know, it's not just a depressing story about addiction and alcoholism and fraught sibling relationships and all of that, but, you know, it's a kid detective story. Who doesn't like a kid detective story? So it's all of that sort of wrapped up into one. And there's a lot of fun to be had, and there's a lot of drama to be had, and I think it's not something you want to miss. I think at the festival I'm really hoping to engage with the audience. I'm really hoping to create a space where this line is blurred between performer and audience. I think the space makes that so easy with the sort of intimate black box setting. I think the piece is written in a way that makes room for that. And I would really love to see that out of the performance. You know, it's been so long since we've had live theater, and so much that makes live theater so special is that intimate relationship between performer and audience. And I really think that that's going to be something that you're going to get out of this play that is very unique and very special. And that's something I'm really hoping to see out of it, is that level of audience engagement, that close relationship that gets built up over the course of the narrative, over the course of the story, and a lot of important bonds that then make the character more real to the people watching. I think just, you know, it's been such a treat to get to work on this. I think my creative team, Wendy, my producer, and Diaya, my director, are such talented young women who are just some of the smartest and most creative theater artists that I know right now. and to get to work with them and to produce a play that is so close to my heart and means so much to me, and to put it up right when theater is coming back, it all is so meaningful and really inspiring, and so exciting. So I'm just really grateful. I'm really grateful for this opportunity, and I'm really happy that people are going to come and see the show, and I can't wait to share it with everyone. I'm Zack Rocklin-Waltch, and if you enjoyed this conversation about Confessions of a Former Boy Detective at Hollywood Fringe 2021 at Theater Asylum in Hollywood, would love to have you there. Would love to see you there. Thanks so much.